dendere wagara mashanga mbiri mbizha pamuro pegange gangiriza chindori gumirawa.
Gogoi.
You moro
Moro Gogo Mushonga.
Soko.
How are you, Gogo Mushonga from Rusape, Gogo?
Oh, from Rusape.
I brought you some presents, Gogo.
Ooh, ooh, thank you. Oh, well done.
And your beautiful village.
Oh, well done. Thank you so much.
I have to rush back to the city to work.
No problem.
And I'll leave you in your beautiful village.
Yes, thank you. Ooh, wow. Phew. Hey, let me sit down and see. Wow. This is really special for me. Wow. So I'll be using it to grind. Wow. Ooh. Lovely. Oh, again, doing this one day. Hey. Yes, unyakata. Wow. Ooh. Hey. Hey. Zvakanaka izvi. Yo, nemutsvairo futi. Ende futi. Hey. Ekaindirongedza. Let me pack this away. Let me see how it works. Very nice. Ooh. Oh, hello. This is Agrena Mushonga. I am living in Leicester at the minute, but I am originally from Zimbabwe. Well, I think some of you who were in Zimbabwe around 2001 to those times, you remember me from KidsNet program Ngano. So today I am going to present to you some of the stories that I have, and some of them are from the past. You know, in our culture from Zimbabwe, where I come from, storytelling is a very important part of our life, and through the stories across the generations, so much is passed on from generation to generation, and there are very good things that people learn and pass on. So they didn't have, in those days, the past, they didn't have what we have today. They didn't have, they didn't go to school, they didn't have books, they didn't have WhatsApp or social media. They just depended on word of mouth, where they would sit down around in the hut in the evening, and they would tell stories, and children would listen to stories and sometimes tell stories. So today I'm going to be telling you one of the stories that my parents told me when I was still young. My parents used to really love telling us stories, and we also loved listening to stories. And I recorded one of the stories in this book, which was recorded way back in 2000 one by Priority Projects Publishing. So I'm going to be telling the story of Capital and the Magic Whistle. Hope you are listening. Wherever you are, YouTubers, you can listen to this story. You can also share the story with friends and family. Love you all. Happy listening. Once upon a time, in a very small village in Zimbabwe, there lived a boy called Capital. He was an orphan. His parents died when he was young. So, he did not know any of them. He also did not know any of his relatives. So, Capital grew up under the harsh conditions of a chief. So, the chief was called Chief Chindori. So, Chief Chindori was very cruel to Capital. He treated him as a servant, and everything that he didn't want his children and his relatives to do, he would send Capital to do. So, maybe you want to know why Capital was an orphan. There was a floods, like recently you heard about the floods that happened in Manicaland, and many people lost their lives. So in those days as well, the same thing happened. So Capital became an orphan because his parents perished in devastating floods, which destroyed life, property, livestock, and everything. But Capital at that time, he was only 1 month old, and he miraculously survived. So before he went to stay with the Chief Chindori, he was staying with Mbuya Maruti. So one day, Capital went out to look for firewood with the other boys in the village. So they went in the jungle looking for firewood, and then every one of them didn't want to even talk to him. They didn't want to share the fruits they got in the jungle with him, and they were passing cruel comments about him, you know, calling him names. So Capital was very sad. And then a snake suddenly appeared in front of him. Then Capital shouted, "Snake! Snake! Snake!" Everybody laughed at him and they ran away, leaving him alone. So he was crying, and then he running away from the snake. So when he ran away from the snake, he thought, well, he was now safe. But then he had lost all the others. He didn't know where the others had gone. And he just started walking in the jungle. And do you know what happened? As if that was not enough, what had happened to him, being left on his own, he also saw another snake in front of him. "Snake! Snake! Help! Help! Help!" he shouted. And then the snake, in those days, snakes, animals, creepy crawlies used to talk, we are told. So the snake said, "Don't run, boy. Don't run, don't run, don't run. Stop, stop, stop." So he stopped. Look at that. Look. That's the snake. And that's a Capital. So when he was told not to run by the snake, he tried again to run because he was so scared. And then the snake appeared again in front of him. Wow, it never ended. So in the end, Capital ended up hiding, going to hide. When the snake then disappeared into the jungle without biting him or anything, it just spoke to him and then it disappeared. And then Capital was so scared, so he went to hide into a cave. And in that cave there was complete silence. There was nobody in the cave. And then Capital didn't know what to do. He thought, well, shall I go back to the village where nobody loves me? Imagine if you know that nobody loves you. It hurts, doesn't it? So I think they should have treated him better. So he said, okay, I'll stay in the cave. So when Capital was in the cave, he fell asleep. So when he fell asleep, he dreamt about his parents. He dreamt about his father, he dreamt about his mother, he dreamt about his grandmother, but he didn't know them because he was too young when they perished. So he woke up from the dream and looked around. And what did he find? He found a whistle. So he looked at the whistle and he said, how come now there's a whistle? When I came in here, there was nothing. And now I see a whistle. Whose whistle is it? Where did it come from? Did it come from the dream? So he worried. And then an old woman appeared. There is the old woman. And he said, hello, Capital. My name is Old Sishato. I am Old Sishato. And then Capital was so scared and he said, oh, hello, hello, Old Sishato, hello. And then Old Sishato said, don't worry, don't worry, don't be scared. I'm with you. So Old Sishato told Capital to pick the whistle up. Pick up the whistle, pick up the whistle. And I want you to do something with this whistle. That's what the old lady said. Wherever you go, you use this whistle. When you need something, you whistle. Then the old lady demonstrated to Capital, this is what you do. Beep, 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 the whistle. And then she gave to Capital and said, oh, can you do it as well? So Capital took the whistle and then the whistle blew. And guess what happened? Everything around him changed. The old tattered clothes he was wearing, they disappeared and he had a set of new clothes. and everything around him was really, really, really good. So the old woman said, right, you know what I want you to be. I want you to be a good boy. I know what has been happening in your life. People have treated you bad, but make sure you are who you are. Be a good boy. Even when people do wrong things, don't follow the wrong things. You do right. Kapitao listened, and the old lady then said, I am going. I'm leaving you. You can stay here for the night. Tomorrow, you go back where you want. You don't have to go back to the chief, Chindori. You can go wherever you want. I'm with you. So, Kapitao went back to sleep, and then the next morning, he woke up. He took his whistle. Nothing else did he have apart from the whistle. So he then walked and walked. He didn't know where he's going. He had lost his bearings in terms of where the village was. Well, maybe if it were these days of sat-nav, he would have followed the sat-nav. But then at that time, there was no sat-nav. So he just walked and walked and walked until he reached a place that was just barren, like a desert. There was nothing. But then he was so tired. He had been walking for hours and hours and hours. So Kapitao said, whatever happens, now I'm just blowing the whistle and see what happens to me. Maybe if I blow this whistle, I don't know what is going to happen. I just want this to end. I just want my misery to end. So there went Kapitao. The third time, he blew it really hard. Then what happened? Wow. New houses, yeah, animals, people, new village. Then Kapitao found himself wearing all those glittering crowns. He was dressed like a king. So he had just become a king, and all these people were kneeling down before him, bringing things to him, and he was happy. He shook himself and said, is this me? But it was him. So Kapitao then, after years and years and years and years, he also had his family. He was very popular. All the neighboring villages, they really liked Kapitao. He was a good king. He was famous. He was kind-hearted. All the things that you would want somebody to do. Very generous, giving to the poor and everything. So the other chiefs around, the other kings, they became jealousy of Kapitao. And they thought, well, why is he doing so well? Why not us? So they said, okay, let's see. We want to know how he gets his powers. We want to know why he is so powerful. So they started wanting to go to war with him. So they started a war. And when the people who were his aides, the chief aides, when they heard about the other chiefs, the kings who had teamed up together to fight Capital's army. So they said, oh, let's go to Capital. Let's tell him. There they are, telling him about the ensuing danger, about the army coming. So they went, Capital, Capital, King Capital, the enemy is approaching. Capital knew he had a magic whistle, and he knew that if he was gonna blow the whistle, the army was going to die. So he said, don't worry, you do what you're doing, play ball. They said, how can we go to play ball and yet the enemy is coming? Capital said, don't you worry, I am King Capital. They are going to perish. So those people again went to look. The enemy was approaching. The army was approaching, and they were armed, and they were raging, and they were singing. Oh, they were singing. Yawe nyama yekugocha, yowerere. Yawe nyama yekugocha, baya wa baya. Yawe nyama yekugocha, yowerere. Yawe nyama yekugocha, baya wa baya. That was a threatening song. And then Capital was told again, they are now really near. And then Capital said, play ball. Oh dear, what happened? What do you think happened? Then the enemy got in the village. They started taking people. They started burning houses. They started destroying everything. And then Capital was busy now looking for the whistle. Where is my whistle? Where is my whistle? Come on, where is my whistle? Everybody help me. Search for my whistle. The whistle was nowhere to be seen. It had been stolen. One of the people that he trusted had stolen the whistle. It was gone. So Capital's village was destroyed. It was destroyed. And then he was lucky because he was saved and taken as a prisoner. But everything that he had was gone. His whistle was gone. His powers had gone. That is the end of this story. Let me ask you, what do you think about this story? What does it teach you? Because every story has got something that you can take away. What is it that you can take away? Let me know. That would be nice. You can write some comments about this story. You can write and ask some questions. You can talk to your parents about the story. If you've got any questions or any comments or anything that you would like to ask Gogo Mushonga, you can write on the address that you can see below. But I'm sure you learn something from this story to help you in a way. Thank you for listening. I love you all. For now, I say bye. This is Gogo Mushonga. That's the name that Kevin has given me today. Thank you. Bye.